anecdotes, the recollections told of his kindnesses off the field. He made his name in Kansas City, and he grew up in Miami, where Dan Levitard remembers a player whom everyone recalls today for everything but football.
This is who Derrick Thomas was. He would get up early on Saturday mornings, drive to the local library, and read to children he didn't know. He would walk into the hospital with teddy bears in both arms and cry when the parents called later to tell him their boy had died clutching his football card to his chest. He would go from locker to locker, demanding at least $100 from each of his rich teammates because this was the week he had decided he wanted to raise $14,000 to feed 750 families. He would be on his way to practice, making a call to McDonald's here and another to Hyatt there, and next thing you know, 700 inner-city Miami kids were at a camp instead of on the street. How do you articulate how good someone was? How do you quantify good? There have been 1,000 emotional voices trying to do it the last couple of days, using words like kind and generous and hero. But to understand how good Thomas was, all we really needed to hear was one weak little voice. Frail Philip Kepi could have told her. Philip had AIDS. He was dying a lonely, painful death in 1994. Entire basketball tournaments being canceled in Lone Wolf, Oklahoma because nobody wanted to play with him. Derrick Thomas wasn't the type of man who would just read about this kind of injustice in the newspaper. Derrick Thomas was the type of man who would go out and fix it. So Thomas sent Philip tickets to one of his games, plus a limo to pick him up. He had breakfast with him. He took Philip golfing, buying his clubs and bags and shoes. He sent him a football signed by Joe Montana for Christmas, and a Sega. And all those kids in Lone Wolf, Oklahoma, you should have seen how jealous they got when they saw All-Pro Derrick Thomas rubbing Philip's head at a basketball charity game, telling everybody it was okay to get close. Philip didn't need to play basketball with those kids anymore. He was playing with Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas. Cringing, convulsing, Philip knew he didn't have much time left in March of 1994. His mother says now that she is convinced, no doubt, that Philip was waiting to see Thomas one more time before he died. So Thomas came in on a Tuesday, arriving on a plane he borrowed from a friend, and he gave Philip one of his All-Pro jerseys, the only time he had ever given one of those away. Philip smiled, then wept. He died less than 48 hours later. Derrick Thomas told me a couple of years ago that he didn't want to be remembered as a football star, but rather as someone who made a difference. You'll forever be remembered that way, Derrick, because friends told Philip's parents their boy ought to be buried in a suit, but they chose a Chiefs jersey.
Funeral arrangements for Derrick Thomas were set today. He'll be buried on February 20th in Miami. Before then, there will be a visitation service in Kansas City next Monday for 12 hours from 9 in the morning till 9 at night at the Greater Pentecostal Church. And the following day, next Tuesday, a public ceremony for Derrick Thomas at Kemper Arena at 11 local time.